And we are delving deeper into what's going on in West Asia, specifically speaking about how America and the way it has been fooling the world in a way has been exposed. In fact, America's blatant hypocrisy as far as the Gaza war is concerned, also its unwavering support for Israel, are no secrets. But now fresh developments have triggered a series of major questions. Despite publicly advocating for a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah, like we just discussed, it has been revealed that the US government quietly approved Israel's military campaign in Lebanon. The US has secretly backed Israel's ground invasion of Lebanon, while all the while asking both Israel and Hezbollah to de-escalate. Let's tell you more. According to the American news outlet Politico, senior White House figures privately assured Israel of America's support for its decision to intensify the military pressure against Hezbollah. Remember, this is in complete contradiction to what the Biden administration has been publicly saying. Publicly, the White House officials have called for Israel to reduce strikes in Lebanon. So what explains the doublespeak? As per the report, Presidential Advisor Amos Hochstein and White House Coordinator for West Asia Brett McGurk communicated to top Israeli officials that Washington endorsed Netanyahu's strategy. What was that really? Well, it was to refocus Israel's military efforts against Hezbollah in the north. They believed that this way the Iran-backed group can be compelled to enter diplomatic talks in order to resolve the conflict. Ironic, isn't it? Seeing as this strategy basically involves bombing Hezbollah first to bring them to the talking table. But it looks like the irony was not lost on all of them. The report says that not everyone in the Biden administration was on board with Netanyahu's bomb Hezbollah strategy. In fact, as per the report, the decision to focus on Hezbollah sparked divisions within the US government, drawing opposition from people inside the Pentagon, the State Department, and the intelligence community. They believed Israel's move against the Iran-backed group could drag American forces into yet another conflict in West Asia, but it has escalated into a wider conflict. Have a look at this map. You see the red blinking dots? These are all the places where strikes and attacks have been reported in at least the last 24 hours. It includes Israel. It is fighting wars on 3 of its 5 fronts. Remember, amid the fight against Hamas in the Gaza Strip and the Houthis in Yemen, Israel has also started its ground invasion of Lebanon against Hezbollah. The Israeli military has said that its troops have started limited raids against Hezbollah targets in the border area. Local residents reported heavy Israeli shelling and the sound of helicopters and drones overhead. Flares were repeatedly launched over the Lebanese border towns, lighting up the night sky. The opening of multiple fronts comes ahead of the first anniversary of the October 7 attack on Israel by Hamas. What began as a surprise attack on Israel by the Gaza-based Palestinian group has evolved into a broader and more volatile situation. It has encompassed both state and non-state actors, and it's been almost 1 year now. For Israel, this war has been about more than just retaliation for the Hamas attack. It has become a war of survival, despite international calls for de-escalation. And Israel is showing no signs of slowing down, by the way. In fact, on Monday, Prime Minister Netanyahu warned in comments directed to Iran that there was nowhere beyond Israel's reach. Netanyahu, speaking in English in a 3-minute-long video, basically blamed the conflict with Iran for driving the region deeper into war, quote-unquote. Listen in.
There is nowhere in the Middle East Israel cannot reach. There's nowhere we will not go to protect our people and protect our country. With every passing moment, the regime is bringing you, the noble Persian people, closer to the abyss.
Now, this warning from Netanyahu basically came 2 days after Israeli military killed the leader of Hezbollah. As per the report by Politico, Israeli officials indicated that their military was getting ready to make a change during discussions and meetings held in mid-September. it has been reported that Hochstein and McGurk communicated to their Israeli counterparts that despite still advising caution, the timing seemed right for such a move, particularly as Hezbollah had appeared to have weakened in the preceding months. Now, while Hezbollah had previously stated that it would only engage with Israel if it reached a ceasefire with Hamas, U.S. assessments at that time suggested that Hamas was unlikely to agree to a ceasefire anytime soon. And this basically meant that it could be a moment to shift the focus more towards Hezbollah alone and separate the two conflicts. The report stresses that American officials knew little of exactly what Israel was planning. It seems that even as they supported Israel pressurizing Hezbollah, they urged caution. They warned that if Israel went too far, it could risk escalating the situation into an all-out regional war. But you see, that position seems a little hard to understand when you see the mounting civilian death toll in Lebanon. So what is it really? Is America confused about its policy? Does it truly believe in diplomacy, or does it support Israeli attacks against Hezbollah? Is the U.S. pursuing multiple things at the same time? What line is the Washington towing? What's going on? Israel's fight with Hezbollah began the day after Hamas's October 7 attack last year. Hezbollah had started firing rockets, remember, from Lebanon into Israel. It had eventually forced tens of thousands of civilians to flee the area on both sides. The White House is walking a very fine line. The Biden administration wants to back Israel's actions against a U.S.-designated terror group responsible for American deaths and regional threats. However, it is unwilling to fully or openly endorse Israel's campaign. And why is that, you ask? Could it be concerned about encroaching too far into Lebanese territory, sparking a full-scale war? When asked in a Monday press conference if he was okay with Israel's targeted ground raids in Lebanon, the president responded, "I am comfortable with them stopping. We should have a ceasefire now," quote unquote. But negotiations regarding the ceasefire proposal announced by the U.S. last week basically halted as Israel continues to target Hezbollah's positions across the Lebanese border. And now, with the Israeli special forces crossing the border to target Hezbollah's tunnel network and other command centers, the situation has obviously escalated further by the looks of it. It's not a matter of can Israel be stopped? Can the West Asia conflict be stopped? It's a matter of whether any of the parties involved are actually willing to give up the gun. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.